Dear woman, everybody may know you as the strong one, the dependable one, the one who keeps the family together, the one who keeps the family together when everything is falling apart, the one who answers the phone, the one who remembers the appointment, the one who knows what everybody needs before they even ask. But tonight, I want to ask you a question. Whether you are taking care of everyone else or you're taking care of everybody, who is taking care of you? I do not want the automatic answer. Oh, I don't want, I'm good. Oh, I do not want, God has got me. I do not want, I'll be all right. I want you to sit with that question. I want you to sit with that question. When you are scared, who do you call? When you are exhausted, who gives you permission to stop? When you don't know what to do, where can you go without having to perform strength? And are you falling apart inside? Is there anybody in your life who even knows? These are questions we are going to be dealing with tonight. I will be right back. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you all are watching me from. Tonight, we are talking about Sandra Bullock. But this conversation is much more bigger than Sandra Bullock, if I may say that. This conversation is much more bigger than her, but tonight we are talking about Sandra Bullock. If you're watching, wherever you are watching from, please do like the live stream. Like, subscribe, share. This conversation that we are about to talk about is way more than Sandra Bullock. Okay? This is about a woman, or the woman who is carrying a sick spouse. The woman trying to reach a struggling child. The woman caring for an aging parent. That woman smiling at work while her marriage is falling apart. The woman quietly dealing with death, grief, betrayal, fear, or a family crisis. She still goes to work. She answers everybody's call. She does everything. She still cooks dinner, right? She still solves all the problems. And when somebody asks, how are you doing? She says, I'm fine. If that woman is you, please stay with me tonight, because strength without support eventually becomes isolation. All right? You're welcome to Yes Life Coaching. Women stand in your power. This is where women learn to stand in their power, protect their peace, and stop disappearing inside the roles that they play for everyone else. So if you are joining me live, I need you to tell me where you are watching me from. And I want you to answer this in the chat with one word. Are you the strong one in your family? Just type yes if you are. If you are the one I'm speaking with, type yes. Let me know in the chat. Let me see what's going on in the chat. You're welcome. I see Kiona let me not misspell this name. Kiona Reynolds, okay? Says hi to you too. Hi, how are you doing? Antonio Farais, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, please forgive me. How are you all doing? I hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining the live. I do appreciate you. What we are talking about today is the strong woman. Who takes care of her? I mean, I was scrolling through the headlines, and here I saw this article. Give me one moment, let me remove this. I saw this article online about Sandra Bullock, and it got me questioning, who is taking care of the strong woman? The article says Sandra Bullock opens up for the first time on ALS passing of partner Bryan Randall. She said, my person left a lot earlier than the body left. So I'm going to read through this and we are going to chop it all up together. Let me increase it so you all can see what I'm reading, okay? So if you are joining us, please do like the live stream, please, so that other people can know we are here. It says, Sandra Bullock is open up about the passing of a late partner, Bryan. I hope I'm sharing the screen. Okay, good. I'm sharing the screen. Bryan Randall, the Practical Magic 2-star, made the rare remark about her private life during an appearance on the Smartless podcast, hosted by Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. Randall, a photographer, battled ALS before passing on August 5th, 2023, at the age of 57. And he and Bullock had been together 8 years at the time of his passing. So Bullock says Randall asked her to keep the diagnosis a secret. He asked me not to share. Right there is a very heavy load that he placed on her. However, he had his reasons. She said, I know why he asked me not to. Okay? So she understood. Her carrying that secret came from a place of understanding, which makes a lot of sense. And she further went on to say, my sister, Gezine Bullock Prado, was the only one who knew for a while. She admitted that the secrecy isolated her in the process. She says, my sister was the only one who knew for a while. Bullock explained, At first I go, oh, I can handle this, I can be quiet. However, caring for Randall and raising her 2 young kids during the COVID pandemic became a trifecta that was pretty dark, Bullock said. She said she eventually shared what was going on with friends, Jennifer Aniston and Bateman's wife, Amanda. I think that now this is where good friends come into play. She says, I think where he was in his journey, both physically and mentally, I started grieving. Bryan 4 years before he passed. That's sad. Bullock said there was something that has shifted. Bullock said Randall was sick for at least half of the 8 years they were together. Oh my goodness. Said my person left a lot earlier than the body left. She said, I don't think I ever dealt with that until after he passed, because you are just on this treadmill. You just keep going. You just keep functioning. It's mechanical. Bullock and Randall reportedly started dating in 2015 after she hired him to photograph her son Louis's 5th birthday party. They made their red carpet debut 10 months later at the Our Brand is Crisis premiere in LA. Bryan chose to keep his journey with ALS private, and those of us who cared for him did our best to honor his request. Randall's family said in a statement following his passing, we are immensely grateful to the tireless doctors who navigated the landscape of his illness with us, and to the outstanding nurses who became our roommates, often sacrificing their own families to be with us. At this time, they said they were asking for privacy to grieve and to come to terms with the possibility of saying goodbye to Bryan. So you may be wondering, why is she doing this story? What is she even talking about? Why does this story even have to make a life. Now, the story has to make a life because there is someone behind that story. And that someone is Sandra Bullock. And the question I'm asking tonight is, who took care of her? Who took care of Sandra Bullock? Listen, look at how many women are saying, okay, let me do this. There are a lot of women in the family who are going through it, who are taking care of someone. They are being the strong one in the family, the only one. Some of them have aging parents. Some women have both parents living with them and they are aging and they're ill. Some women, even in addition to that, have physically, challenged children in addition to that. So my question is, does the strong one in the family usually get checked on? Or does everybody simply assume that this strong person can handle it? Now, tonight's conversation may bring up grief, caregiving, illness, and loss. So please take care of yourself as you listen. This is more or less like a coaching conversation. It's not a medical or mental health treatment. So if your grief or emotional distress feels unmanageable, please reach out to a qualified professional or a trusted support person. Okay? So Sandra Bullock has spoken in depth about losing her longtime partner. Okay? She talked a lot and I read it out here. For those of you who are just joining us, her partner died he passed August 5th, 2023 at the age of 57 after a private 3-year battle with ALS. And both of them had been together since 2015. Okay, according to People's Magazine or Entertainment Weekly now. So I don't want to go into all of the story. You can go back and watch again. Okay, but the most important part is she made it clear that he asked her not to share, and she had to respect his request, and that she understood why he said that. Now, that point to me is important because we are not here to blame Randall for anything. We are not here to say that his desire for privacy was wrong. We are not here to turn a family's most painful experience into a villain story. No. Again, Sandra respected the boundary of the man she loved, and that is most important. But two truths can exist at the same time. He had the right to want privacy, and carrying that privacy had an emotional consequence for her. See, Sandra Bullock said honoring the request isolated her in the process. For a period, she says, the only person that knew was her sister, right? And, so did you hear that? Did you hear that? The only person that knew was her sister. She loved him. She respected him. She was also raising children. She was caring for her partner. And she could not. She was helping hold a family together. And she could not freely explain to people what was happening behind closed doors. And this is where I want us to leave the celebrity gossip behind. Okay? The real question is not what happened in Sandra Bullock's house. That is not the real question. The real question here is what happens inside a woman when everybody needs something from her, but she does not believe she has permission to need anything from anyone else. Let's dive in deep into this story. The visible story here, I like to call this Decode. Okay? Let's decode the story. The visible story here is that Sandra Bullock has opened up about losing a partner, but the deeper story is that a woman was simultaneously a partner, a mother, a caregiver, an emotional anchor, while carrying a reality she could not publicly discuss. The hidden wound says, everybody needs me, so I don't have the permission to fall apart. Now let's look at the power leak. The power leak is believing that strength means carrying everything privately. But the yes truth is that strength without support eventually becomes isolation. I want to repeat that quietly. Strength without support eventually becomes isolation. Whether we like it or not, it is what it is. Strength without support eventually becomes isolation. She was going through it, but she still had to respect him. She was going through it, but she still had children to take care of. She was going through it, and she still had to become the support, the glue that held everything together. Strength without support eventually becomes isolation, in my opinion. Being strong is a role. It's not your entire identity. Many women were assigned the role of the strong one. Many women consciously chose that role. Long before, or let me say, they were assigned the role long before they consciously chose it. Let me put it that way. A lot of women were assigned the role long before they consciously chose that role. If you are watching, please do like the live stream, like, share, subscribe, so that other people can know that we are here. So maybe you became strong because the adults around you were unreliable. Maybe you became strong because you were the oldest daughter. Maybe you became strong because there was no room for your feelings in your childhood home. Maybe every time you showed pain, somebody minimized it, judged it, or made your pain about them. Maybe you learned that being useful kept you safe. Maybe people praised you for being matured, responsible, and low maintenance. And now, as a grown woman, you don't know how to receive support without you feeling guilty. But you know how to rescue. You know how to organize. You are very good with all of those things. With organizing, with, doing all of that. You know how to advise. You know how to pray for everyone. You know how to stand in the gap for everyone. You know how to make a way out of no way. But do you know how to say, I cannot carry this by myself? Do you know how to sit in front of somebody without fixing your face, without controlling your voice, or without cleaning up your emotions? Do you know how to let somebody see you before you have turned the pain into a lesson? Some women are not supported because nobody loves them. They are unsupported because they have trained everybody to believe they never need anything. See, every time someone asks, are you okay? You say yes. Every time someone offers help, you say, no, I've got this. Every time you start to cry, you apologize. Every time you need rest, you call yourself lazy. Then you quietly resent everybody for not seeing how much you are carrying. Sis, people cannot consistently support a version of you that you refuse to let them meet. That does not excuse people who take advantage of you. But it does mean that standing in your power requests honest communication. It doesn't request silent endurance. So let me ask the woman in the chat. What is harder for you? Is it asking for help? Is it accepting help? Or is it trusting that help will last? Type A if your answer is asking for help. Type B for accepting help. And type C for trusting. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Some of you have asked before and you have been disappointed. Some of you received help, but the help came with judgment. It came with control. It came with a price. Some of you are afraid that if you stop holding everything together, everything will eventually collapse. I understand why that armor is there. Listen, I have been there myself. But armor that protected you in one season can imprison you in another season. Another question I want to ask you is, can you grieve someone who is still here? Sandra Bullock also gave language to another experience that many people struggle to explain. She said something. She said, I started grieving Bryan 4 years before he passed. She described a profound shift and said, my person left a long time, a lot earlier than the body left. She added that she did not believe she dealt with it until after he passed, because she was just on the treadmill, meaning she was just moving with the motion. My person left a lot earlier than the body left. There is a name for grief that begins before a passing or an expected loss, and the name of that grief is anticipatory grief. The National Cancer Institute describes it as grief that occurs leading to a passing and notes that it is different from the grief experienced after the passing. Okay? So this type of grief can happen while illness is changing the person you loved right in front of your eyes. You are grateful that they are still here. You feel guilty for grieving because they are still here. You may be managing medication, appointments, children, work, and household responsibility. You may be trying to stay hopeful while also watching the future you imagined with this person begin to change. You may be mourning conversations that you can no longer have, roles that have changed, abilities that have been lost, or even dreams that may never ever happen. Now, that grief is real. And feeling it does not mean you have stopped loving the person. Not at all. It means you are human inside a painful and changing reality. Now, I want to be responsible here. Sandra Bullock was describing the progression of a terminal illness and the eventual passing of a partner. Now, we should not pretend that every breakup, estrangement, or change relationship is medically or emotionally identical to that experience. But some women may recognize an emotional parallel, which I say like grieving a relationship, a role, or a future before the formal ending arrives. You may grieve when a parent changes dramatically. You may grieve a marriage that emotionally ended long before the divorce papers were filed. You may grieve an adult child who has become estranged. You may grieve a friendship that no longer feels safe or mutual. You may grieve the person you believed someone was before their choices showed you something different. You may even grieve the version of yourself you had to become just to survive. Now, different situations deserve different languages and care, but the emotional question can still be powerful. Have you been trying to force yourself to act as if nothing has been lost simply because the final ending has not happened yet? What have you been grieving without giving your permission or yourself permission to call it grieve? These are questions that I want you to have to ask yourself. These are questions I want you to ask yourself. Because this life that we are on is way, way greater than Sandra Bullock. Is way greater than that. Okay? You don't have to type the details. If this speaks to you, put a heart in the chat. Simply type, I understand. Sandra Bullock said something. She says she was on the treadmill of survival. Now, being on this treadmill is very important. That treadmill is the treadmill of survival. When a woman is in survival mode, oh my God. When a woman is in survival mode, a lot of things happen. She often does not process what she feels. She manages what must happen next. She would do different things. Oh, I need to call the doctor. I need to pick the kids. I need to answer the email. I need to pay the bills. I need to make the appointment. I need to handle emergency. I need to comfort everyone else. I need to get up and repeat the process again. Now, there may be no dramatic breakdown because she does not have time for one. The body keeps going while the heart keeps accumulating the unfinished pain. Then the crisis passes. The funeral is over. The divorce is final. The child becomes stable. The parent has moved into care. The emergency is no longer urgent. And that is when the feelings arrive. The fact that you have delayed emotion is not failed emotion. If you survived first and felt later, that does not mean you did it wrong. But once the emergency has passed, survival mode cannot become your permanent home. At this point, the feelings you postponed will ask to be witnessed. Okay? Now let's talk about the difference between the privacy or between privacy and isolation. Now, privacy can be healthy. Privacy says everybody does not deserve access to my personal life. Isolation says nobody is allowed to know my pain. Privacy will protect what is sacred. Isolation removes the possibility of support. Privacy in itself is selective, right? Isolation is total. Privacy says, I have chosen safe people, right? But isolation says that I have convinced myself that there are no safe people. There are no safe places. Or that I must never need them. So you do not have to tell the internet. You do not have to tell the whole family. You do not have to tell the friends who turns every confidence into gossip. However, strong women need a safe room. Every strong woman needs a safe room. Every strong woman needs a safe room. And that safe room may be a trusted friend. That safe room may be a therapist. That safe room as a strong woman may be a grief counselor, a faith leader who understands confidentiality and emotional care. That safe room may be a support group, it may be a coach when the need falls within coaching. So the goal is not public exposure. The goal is for you to stop confusing secrecy with strength. Okay, so I'm gonna speak with us now. 5 signs your strength has become self-abandonment. I want to give you 5 signs to consider. First, you automatically say I'm fine before checking whether it is true, whether you are fine. Your mouth protects the image while your body carries the truth. Number 2, you feel valuable only when you are useful. If you are that one, put this is me in the chat. If you are not solving, helping, giving, or rescuing somebody, you don't know who you are in the relationship. Number 3, you resent people for needs you never communicated. You are angry that no one came to help you, but you never told anybody that you were drowning. Number 4, rest makes you anxious. It makes you guilty. Your nervous system has learned that stillness is dangerous, because stillness gives you feelings, or let me say, stillness gives your feelings or room to speak. I don't know how to explain myself there. Number 5, you have people who depend on you, but no one you allow yourself to depend on. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, thanks for joining. Let me go to Instagram. We have Chubby Chickies, Olufunshaw, Yes Baby Lee, like it raw. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining on Instagram. Wherever you are watching from, please like, share, subscribe. Let me know exactly where you are watching from. Let me know where you are watching from. Okay, so I said number 5. Number 5 is that you have people you depend on, but no one that you have allowed yourself to depend on. Or, okay, let me repeat myself. You have people who depend on you, but no one you allow yourself to depend on. Now that is not independence. That for me is emotional isolation wearing a crown. Come on, guys, wherever you're watching me from, please like the live stream. Like the live stream, share. Let me know where you are watching from. Come on in. Again, all of that is not independence. Those are signs of emotional isolation. That is emotional isolation wearing a crown. So which one of these 5 spoke to you most strongly? Type 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the chat. Tonight, I want you to do a simple support audit. Ask yourself 4 questions. Who knows the truth about my situation? Not the edited truth, not the published truth. Who knows what is actually happening to me? Who can listen without immediately judging, fixing, or gossiping? You need at least one person who can hold space without making your pain about them. What kind of support do I actually need? That's the next question you need to ask yourself. Do I need someone to listen to? Do I need practical help? Do I need professional help? Or do I just need to rest? Ask yourself, do you need someone to sit with your children? Do you need a meal, a ride, a phone call, or company? Do you need company at an appointment? What is one direct request I can make within the next 24 hours? What you can say is, oh, can you call me tonight and listen to me for 20 minutes? I do not need advice. You can ask that. Can you pick up dinner on Thursday? You can ask, can you sit with me or with my mom while I take a break? You can ask your support, can you come with me to this appointment? Can you check on me tomorrow morning? Can you help me find a grief counselor or a support group? Specific support is easier to give and easier to receive. And that is why you need to ask for it. Now, support does not mean surrendering your judgment. No. Support does not mean telling everybody your business. No. Support does not mean staying in debt to someone who helped you. No. Support does not mean tolerating control, criticism, or disrespect. Support also does not mean making another person responsible for healing you. What support is, it means allowing safe people and appropriate professionals to stand beside you while you do the work that belongs to you. I want to speak directly to the woman who is in the middle of a lot of things right now, who is going through it. Maybe nobody knows how hard your home has become. Maybe you are caring for somebody and you are tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. Maybe you are grieving changes that other people cannot see. Maybe you are trying to protect your children from adult pain while you have nowhere else to put your own pain. Maybe you are honoring someone else's needs and boundaries while quietly disappearing from yourself. I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me very well. Your exhaustion does not mean you do not love them. Your frustration does not make you a bad person. Not at all. Hey, Moschino, thank you for joining. Shay Love, thank you for joining on Instagram. Thank you. Your grief does not mean you have given up. Your need for support is not betrayal, people. Your strength is not measured by how invisible you can make your suffering. You are allowed to love somebody and still admit that the situation is hurting you. You are allowed to honor someone's privacy and still seek confidential, appropriate support for yourself. You are allowed to be grateful and tired at the same time. You are allowed to be faithful and frightened. You are allowed to be strong and in need. Two truths can live in the same woman. If you remember only one thing from tonight's life, I want you to remember this. Being the strong woman does not mean becoming the silent woman. The fact that you are needing support is not weakness. It's not weakness. Rest is not weakness. Telling the truth about your situation is not weakness. Asking for help is not weakness. Sometimes the person holding everybody together needs somewhere safe to fall apart too. And falling apart in a safe place may be just how you begin putting yourself back together in a healthier way. So, if you are the woman everyone calls when life falls apart, but you do not know who you can call, maybe it is time to stop carrying everything alone. If you have built your identity around being needed, and now you feel guilty setting boundaries, you feel guilty receiving support or choosing yourself, this is the work we do at Yes Life Coaching. This is not about making you less strong. It's about teaching you how to use your strength without abandoning yourself. It's about identifying the hidden beliefs that you tell, or the hidden beliefs that tell you that your needs are a burden. It's about building boundary support and a life in which you do not have to earn love through exhaustion. If you are ready, and I mean if you are ready to have that conversation, I want you to book a discovery call with Yes Life Coaching. The link is in the description, and I could also pin it in the comment as well. Go ahead and book a discovery call with Yes Life Coaching, and we will take it from there. Before you leave, I want you to make one commitment. Within the next 24 hours, tell someone, or tell one safe person, not just one someone. Tell one safe person one true thing. It can be, I am not doing as well as I look. It might be, I need you to check up on me. It might just be, I need help with something, or I am still grieving, I am tired. Remember, I said one safe person. You can tell them, oh, I do not need advice. I just need you to listen. One safe person. One true thing. The challenge, one safe person, one true thing, one step out of isolation. Okay? If you are making that commitment, I need you to type in the comment section, I am strong. I'm not silent. Type strong, not silent in the comment section. Sis, you do not need to lose your power when you ask for help. You stop leaking your power into performance that says you never need any. Stand in your power, please. Protect your peace. And remember, the woman taking care of everyone is worthy of being cared for too. I would see you in the next life. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Thank you for staying with me thus far. I appreciate the comment. Thank you everyone on Instagram that joined. Thank you everyone on YouTube that joined. I appreciate you all. I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful night rest. Bye. Bye-bye.